Yeah, I do. I have a habit of just starting on beautiful days, which it is a beautiful day, without hitting the gorgeous. Do we call it SoBe? SoBe would be.
SoBe.
Yeah, something like that. So be it. There you go. Now, I just spoke to you only about 2 or 3 days ago. This sounds like a fantastic idea. Yourself and Kim, realising just the vulnerability of women, and certainly young women, but all ages, where the beauty industry puts a pressure on them to look a certain way and be a certain way, and that can lead to all sorts of decisions that are later regretted. And did this come out of deep late night conversations? Did it come out, you and Kim? I don't know where you got the idea to let's help these people.
Well, I've been sort of in and out of this business over the last 20 years, and my sort of take, you know, in my day, in our day, we didn't know what eyebrows were, you know. I just think young women, particularly young, any age women and men, you know, are very vulnerable today, because it really is a very sort of vacuous society we're living in.
Right.
And in my experience, there are a lot of people out there that wouldn't be, I suppose, as ethical in how they carry out their business.
Right.
And they will take money off vulnerable people. If somebody walks into even a hairdresser's, a beauty salon, more medical stuff that we do, if somebody walks in, you know, they're going to spend money, and a lot of the time these businesses, they're on targets. Most of the ones in Ireland will be on targets where they have to extract. I suppose we're a little bit different in the sense that, you know, a consultation with us is free and it's an hour long. If somebody's putting needles in your face, people sort of have forgotten the cut-off point of beauty. When you're entering into another, I suppose, arena or stage of, it's beyond beauty. You know, this is sort of very, very, you know, the products that are used.
Well, you're messing with nature, really.
Well, I mean, this is prescribable products. And people don't tend to, what fascinates me, people don't tend to question. We offer sort of all sorts of discounts. If you come in and say to me, show me your qualifications and talk to me about how long you've been doing this, I can get out everything straight in front of you, and I'll offer you a discount.
Right.
Okay? Because I just think we need to educate people. I mean, I had a particular experience in my very early 20s of a cosmetic procedure that was carried out on me, and I worked with this surgeon. You know, I was not vulnerable. I was a qualified nurse. And I've kind of lived with the consequences of that all my life.
Right.
So I suppose that's why I'm passionate about making sure another young woman doesn't go through what I went through. Well,
for you and Kim now, is it largely about that industry of injections and Botox and all that, as opposed to, you know, obviously if you get your hair done and it wasn't a good hairdo and it was a rip-off, that'll pass and you'll get new hair and you'll do whatever. But when it comes to, you know, when it comes to injections, when it comes to changing your actual face, well, then you're into much deeper waters, because that doesn't grow out, that doesn't sort of change.
The thing is, we do non-surgical stuff, but I'll just give you an example of the dangers involved, and from a health and safety aspect, although we offer a wide range of every single thing in the beauty industry, my partner offers everything I can't do, and I do everything she doesn't do. I'm a nurse and she's a skin specialist. So to give you an example, there's a case pending in the UK at the moment.
A 17-year-old girl.
17-year-old has gone blind from lip filler.
Right.
That was administered by a non-medic. Now, the difference is, things do go wrong, but I'm equipped to deal with any eventuality that would compromise somebody's health. But people that are non-medics, really, their product is counterfeit, because you have to have your registration number, be it doctor, dentist or nurse, to buy the product in the first place.
Right.
Secondly, you know, I mean, look, I suppose you know, you can go blind. You can have a thing called a vascular occlusion, which basically cuts off you know, your blood supply and the skin dies. I mean, there's all sorts of things. They're extremely rare. They do happen. And I think people, you know, think if they go to a non-medic, they can have these procedures. So it's only, you know, it's not only, it's actually got, you know, potentially huge problems involved. Well, I suppose rare and all as it is, and I don't want to scare people. It's a reality.
But there'll be two things here now. Obviously, there's those maybe, you know, struggling to make that decision that they feel they should and they feel they shouldn't. I mean, there would be advice there to make the right decision. But obviously then there are those handful of cases every now and again who had a bad experience and need to sort of rebuild their confidence and get a sense of, you know, you say yourself when you were 22 in London, you regret it later on. I'm sure there's many others who have had these situations where they made a decision to do some surgery and then it just didn't quite turn out the way they planned. So is it both of those? Are you kind of like people who might be thinking about such a move, or?
Well, you see, the thing about it is we've come on so far in the non-surgical aesthetic arena that you know, nowadays you can pretty much treat all facial, maxillofacial sort of situations non-surgically. Now, obviously there's the exception.
Sure.
Different things, but I suppose with us, you know, the Kim Kardashian lip thing, you know, we would be the opposite. If young women, like, you know, last week, for example, I had about 7 or 8 women, you know, that came in and they wanted a specific treatment. They were not suitable for one reason or another.
Right.
We ended up having chats. Now, with 1 or 2, I hope to think they after their hour-long conversation, they went out into the world happy campers, and that's the end of it, and felt a little bit better about themselves and realised how stunningly beautiful they are.
Yeah.
Probably not with a chat with me, but maybe it might help somewhat go towards a feeling of self-worth.
Sure, all we really need is Sudocreme and maybe Boots number 7.
There you go.
Nothing else really. All the other stuff is just
100%.
Everything else is just, you know, icing and cherry and very expensive icing and very expensive cherries. So you're starting up here. You're down in SoBe. What sort of, are you already up and running, or when do you start the business down here?
Well, we're here a month now, and we offer, you know, like I said, beauty treatments from both of us are skin specialists, and then we have you know, shellac, massage, peels, fabulous peels, both medical grade and non-medical grade. We have a doctor that joins us to administer Botox, and I do all the facial fillers, contouring for aging. If there's a deficit in any shape, way or form around the mouth and the lip area for you know, hair, lip and things like that. I can also, I'm one of the very few actually that's qualified in Ireland to do correction.
Right.
Medical correction.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we do everything, and we also, as I said, do little chats, long chats, just to make sure that everybody's all right.
So somebody
will leave us feeling bad.
Boom.
Even if you never have a treatment.
So if I went into you talking about getting a breast reduction, you'd be able to help me through that.
Well, I'd probably refer you on to, I know this guy called Frankenstein.
There you go.
And he's kind of good.
He is good. I've heard good things about him. I've heard good things about him. I don't know if you know many people. I can't think of anyone off the top of my head who's had a bad experience, but you look at Hollywood stars, you can see bad experiences with face.
Really
like beautiful young women, and they end up looking like McLean Burke or something afterwards. It just all goes wrong for them. There you go.
Look what I live with.
But is it common, like in Ireland?
It's so current, and I know the sort of stage that, you know, a man in his late 20s like you, you know, probably wouldn't be so aware of it, but it's so current at the moment. There are so many young people, middle-aged people and older people turning up in A&E departments. There was a talk about this. Ciara Kelly did a fabulous chat on this a couple of weeks ago, a news talk, around, you know, the fact that you know, St Vincent's, for example, you know, South Dublin, their A&E department is filling up with these people coming in with complications that have arisen. So we're impeding the already super stretched HSE in turning up there with people having procedures done that need to be fixed, and sometimes it's too late to fix them. I suppose because I'm in this industry, it's very obvious to me. I know when problems arise, you know, sort of nationwide. I suppose we're kind of a small group, but it's very, very sad. And again, it's just playing on people's vulnerabilities. Just make sure whoever you go to, you've got to see their qualifications. They're going under your skin and causing trauma. there potentially could be a disastrous effect, and you must check who you're going to. I suppose that the first port of call really would be word of mouth. Look for their qualifications. If anybody looks for Beam, I think it's fantastic. You know, I've been doing, like I said, on and off for 20 years. It's brilliant. Come and quiz me. Fantastic. Keep me on my toes. You're educating yourself, isn't that what it's all about? And it's brilliant, you know.
So we'll put in the email contacts, and I don't know whether you're up on Facebook yet, or what sort of, like, if there's links.
We are Skin Health Aesthetics. We're based in SoBe.
Right.
We have a lovely little setup. It's very casual, very easy. We'll have a coffee. We'll chat for probably an hour in your consultation, no obligation. Absolutely no money will exchange hands. And I'll advise. And you go away in your merry way. And that's really essentially all it's about.
Beautiful. Sounds like that makes sense to me. I think you should maybe set up a mobile clinic for Robinsons as well. There's a lot of.
I'm thinking of that.
After in the morning be a good time to get them. We'll just show people that it's still a beautiful day because the weather's supposed to turn next week.